So I messed up big time. I made these hot honey beef bowls the other night for dinner. Just really didn't feel like filming, just wanted to cook for my family, and they were so good. We're about to make them again because they're worth a repeat. Days later, we're gonna make them for lunch today. They make a great lunch or dinner option, but do not skip these because seriously, they're delicious. All right, so I am gonna be adding to this recipe. The first thing I'm gonna start with is making some pickled red onions. You can completely skip this, but I do feel like you've got this hot honey, which gives this element of sweet. You've got the beef and the sweet potato, which are giving the savory. And then just by adding that pickled onion, you're adding that additional flavor to this, and I just think it's gonna take it over the top. Pickled onions are really easy to make, so we're gonna start with that so that they can kind of be in the brine for a little while everything else is working. I'm gonna start by slicing my red onion pretty thin, and we are not gonna make a huge amount of these. I'm really just gonna make enough that they're gonna be for our lunch today. We're actually headed out of town tonight for a homeschool conference, so I don't wanna make a ton and just have it sit in the fridge for the next few days. So just a few is really all we need. I could use my mandolin, but I'm still a little scared. So I'm just gonna use this. I'm also gonna do the same thing with some cucumber, essentially making somewhat like pickles. Pickles really need to be in the brine for longer than this, so it's not gonna be a complete pickle, you know, but I do think that it'll be good. And actually, I'm just gonna put them in the same thing because I'm gonna eat all of this. Well, let's make them separately. That way we can divide it all out and it'll look really pretty. But I've got cucumber that needs to be used, so we'll do that. Okay, this one I'm gonna slice, or I'm gonna chop a little bit thicker because I'm not quite as concerned about it becoming, you know, like a complete pickle. So just a tad thicker, not too much. And again, this is a step that you can completely skip. I'll tell you, the base of the bowl here is beef, sweet potato, and cottage cheese. If that is all that you want to put in your bowl, that is completely fine. This is just, I mean, we like the extra. We like these other elements and we have the time to make it. So if you want to make this a super quick thing, then I would skip some of these other steps here. Maybe you're gonna make this as a weeknight meal. This kind of stuff is something you could easily prep a few days in advance, and then you don't have to worry about it the night of because it's already ready to go. Okay, I need to get my water running because it has to be hot water. In fact, your best option is to take it over the stovetop and boil it. I'm actually just gonna make mine in a little measuring glass, and we're just gonna heat it up in the microwave. But I like to start with hot water. All right, just about a cup of, well, even less actually. I'm gonna go like half of a cup of white vinegar because we don't need all that much. Same with water, about a half cup of water. But again, make as much of this as you want. Make a ton of it if you want to. Okay, we need a few teaspoons of salt and then a good pinch. That's sugar. That was sugar. And then a good pinch of salt. So like near a tablespoon. Now these are quick, but other optional things you could add in here are red pepper flakes if you want to make them a little bit spicy. You could add in garlic cloves if you want that really garlic infused flavor. We're just, like I said, really simple. I'm gonna heat this up in the microwave, make sure that everything dissolves, and then we'll pour it into the containers here and just let it kind of pickle. It's definitely gonna pickle the onions. It's not gonna quite pickle the cucumbers, but it'll be a little bit. Did you get kicked out? Did you get kicked out of the office? If my husband is on a call, she can't be in there because she makes so much noise. So sometimes she gets kicked out and then she gets really mad during the day. Okay, this was microwaved for about a minute. I'm gonna see if everything dissolves. Ideally, you wanna let this cool just a little bit before you pour it over the pickles and the onions. I'm just hoping that stirring it is gonna cool it enough that I can just move on with this and do the rest of the recipe. It is 11:15 and we normally eat lunch 12:15, so I really have plenty of time. Oh yeah, everything's dissolved. Let's take this and pour it into here, into both of these. Okay, why? So the onions, you know that they're ready to go when they turn this really vibrant, bright pink, and they shouldn't take very long at all. All right, I'm gonna let that sit out for just a minute so that it's not too hot when I put the lid on, but then we will put it in the refrigerator just so they can sit in there. I mean, they don't even have to be refrigerated, honestly, and we're gonna be putting it on hot food, so maybe I'll just leave them out and then we'll refrigerate them if there's anything left. Okay, moving on. The next thing that I like to do is go ahead and pull my cottage cheese out of the refrigerator and put whatever amount I think that we're gonna need into a bowl and let it sit out and kind of come to room temperature. You can absolutely put this on the bowl straight from the refrigerator. I do think that with the ground beef and with the hot sweet potatoes, everything else that's a warm temperature or a hot temperature, it's better if it's a little bit more at room temperature. So I just take that out. That's probably a half cup. I do about a 1/4 cup per bowl. Okay, the next thing I'm gonna do is make the sweet potatoes, and this time I'm gonna make them in the air fryer. Last time I did the exact same process as far as cutting, peeling, all of that, tossing in a little bit of avocado oil spray, salt and pepper. Very, very simple. If you use the oven, you roast the potatoes at 400 for about 20 minutes or so. I think I flipped halfway through, but we're just gonna use the air fryer this time. Try it out, see if it's any different. So I'm gonna get that ready to go. And then I've got some sweet potatoes over here that we will start to peel. So while I'm peeling these potatoes, you may or may not have noticed that just a couple of days ago, I put up a video, and it is a members only video. So it is something that my husband and I have been thinking about doing for a while, adding another layer to my channel that just offers a little bit deeper community. Some of you have absolutely requested more. You want more from us. And so this is just another level of something that we wanted to add. Nothing on my channel is going to change though. That is a completely separate thing in addition to what we're already doing here. So please don't feel like you're gonna miss out or you're gonna miss something if you decide not to do channel memberships. It's just additional videos per month that really probably aren't gonna be so much food related, family life related, things around the house, projects, things like that. It's really just intended for the people that desire a little bit more from feeding the birds. So that's where we are with that. For those of you that are interested, I hope that you're enjoying that additional content, and it's an opportunity to get to know us a little bit better and for us to engage with you all a little bit more. So that's where we are. All right, I'm gonna cut these into bite-sized pieces, bite-size-ish. All right, I'm gonna cut these into bite-sized pieces, bite-size-ish. All right, so this is gonna be more sweet potatoes than we will probably need, but that's okay. I'll just store them because they'll last. We're only gonna be gone for 2 days, so they'll last until we get home, or my mom can eat them while she's here. I'm gonna spray these. You can toss them in oil if that's your preference, but let's put some garlic powder and some onion powder. I'm gonna add some pepper, some paprika, and salt. Okay, now just toss these a little bit in that flavor, so you can get tongs out or something like that if you want. But this is my kitchen and we're making it really simple. Okay, so we just spread these out in the air fryer basket. I'm gonna go 400. I'll probably start at 5 minutes or so, flip them, see what we look like here. I'm actually not 100% sure how long these are gonna take in the air fryer, so we'll check them and I'll end up letting you know. The base of the bowl, we've already done 2 things here. We've got the cottage cheese out, we've got the sweet potatoes that we're gonna roast, and now we're gonna take care of that beef. I completely forgot about an ingredient. We have to make the hot honey. And obviously this is something that you can buy. At Mike's, I believe, makes a hot honey already. There's probably several brands that already have a hot honey ready to go, but we're just gonna make it because we always have all the ingredients and they're just here in the house. But we've been using hot honey so much lately, we might want to invest in this. Now, if you don't like spice, either cut down on what I'm gonna use here or just use honey. All of this depends on how much spice you want. So I'm just making a small amount here. This is probably gonna be 2 or 3 tablespoons of hot honey, but this is all that we need. That's actually more than we need, to be honest. I'm gonna toss in just a little bit of red pepper flakes, but it all depends, like I said, on how hot you want this to be. We've got some cayenne pepper. Toss that in, make it as spicy as you want. And then literally a touch. Maybe half a teaspoon of apple cider vinegar. Stir this together and you just wanna let it sit to the side, okay? This is just all those spices are gonna infuse that honey and it's gonna be really delicious. The more time you give this to just sit, the better. Honestly, you can make it well in advance, days in advance if you want to. All right, you know what? I'm actually gonna pop this in the microwave for just a second to really kind of give this a head start with those flavors. Okay, I wouldn't suggest more than 10 seconds. It will boil over and you will have a big mess in your microwave, and I won't tell you how I know that. I need to make the beef that's gonna go with them. And here's your quick way, okay? Saute up some beef, throw in some taco seasoning. I never have taco seasoning in our house. But we always have the ingredients that go in taco seasoning, so that's what we're gonna use. I'll walk you through it. Really simple, I promise. Not complicated at all. Okay, we're using an 85-15 ground beef, so I'm not adding any oil or anything to the pan. The other day when I made this, the only thing I added at this point was a little bit of salt to the beef, and then I added all of my other spices and herbs later. So I'm gonna try that again. It seemed to work really well. Also, sometimes when I talk about our most used kitchen tools, I forget about this thing right here that my friend Stephanie sent me from Pampered Chef. Y'all, this thing gets used all the time. If you do not have something like this or this one, you're missing out. I mean, wow, it is just such a cool kitchen tool. I bet, how long have I had this? 6, 7 years? Probably at least 5. If you look up this recipe online, you are going to find many people use avocado instead of cucumber, and that is a great option, 100%. I am not using avocado today for 2 reasons. First of all, I'd have to go to the grocery store. Second of all, the avocado, although it is a very healthy fat, does add another layer of fat to this meal. And I already know what we're having for dinner tonight, which is a little more fat heavy. So I'm cutting down on that in this particular bowl, but it's very good with avocado in it too, okay? The cucumber is gonna add cucumber, pickles, you know, ish. It's gonna add an element of crunch that's really fun. Looking here, my onions are turning that really beautiful pink shade. No idea how well the pickles are gonna be done by this point. I just restarted the air fryer and now the sweet potatoes have been in for 11 minutes. I'm gonna shake them, check them, and see if they need any more. That might be it. Oh yeah, those are done. Nice. Okay, I'm gonna leave them in there so they stay warm. let me turn this down a bit, and I'm gonna pull out any of the fat, water, all the things. We're just gonna drain it. Okay, now this might seem counterintuitive because I just pulled out all that liquid, but just hang with me for a second. Okay, this is how I did it the other day. Take just the smallest bit of flour. Okay, so this is maybe a tablespoon overall. Stir that together. You don't have to do this part. This is just kind of making the beef like a little saucy, and that's what we're going for here. I mean, you can totally skip this and just have ground beef. I'm gonna add a little bit of bone broth, and that's gonna help make a sauce, so 2 tablespoons maybe, which is really not very much at all. Okay, I'm on a medium-high heat right now. Now we need to add in all of our other stuff, okay? So I'm gonna add a touch of pepper, maybe 1/4 teaspoon, some onion powder. This one we're going for at least a 1/2 teaspoon. Same with garlic powder. I love adding chili powder here. Really good flavor. This one's probably closer to a teaspoon. Now some paprika. And this one is really just a preference for me, but I love cumin in here. Now, ideally we would have some cilantro for these bowls. However, my cilantro is not looking great, but I do think it would be really good in here. Okay, at this point, we're really just keeping it warm until we're ready to eat. So I turned my heat to low. Look how fast this is. I mean, wow, minutes. Here is how we plate. So you start with your base of sweet potato and the beef. I'm gonna go cottage cheese pretty much right in the center. Add some of these cucumbers. Could be avocado here instead if that's your preference. I'm gonna go pickled onions. I don't think my husband will. Sometimes he surprises me though, y'all. It's so good. I mean, it's just so good. And I'm even adding more layers this time than I did last time. I did find some cilantro, so just do a little touch. Now, personally, I think hitting it with a little bit of black pepper or Italian seasoning grinder, something like that, looks so pretty. And then to top it all off, that hot honey. You're gonna focus on the cottage cheese and the sweet potatoes, but you can put this hot honey all over because it is so good. And there you go. Delicious. Oh my goodness. Okay, while he's making his helping, he's not putting the red onion on his. One of the great things about this, I mean, obviously it looks so beautiful with all of these colors and it tastes amazing, but it is super high in protein because you've got the sweet potatoes that are just so good for you, those root vegetables, high in protein cottage cheese, high in protein ground beef. I mean, this is a great, great meal if you're looking to increase your protein. And even the carbs that are in here are all great carbs. They're good carbs for you. Okay, let me just get a bite here with all the elements. I think it's better this time because of the pickled aspect that we didn't have last time. Avocado, like I said, it's so good in this, but it does add another fat. And since our ground beef is a little fattier this time, I opted for the cucumbers instead.
Did we have both before? It was avocado instead of cucumber. Yeah, that's good. That's a good swap.
Yeah, it's very, very good.
Yeah.
But this is good with that. Just, I don't know, it adds that other flavor with the pickled.
Yes.
And I just think that's so good. So obviously you mix all this together and it doesn't look quite as beautiful once you mix it together, but it still tastes just as good.
Right. Well, the pickled, because of the honey, adds that tartness to balance it out.
Yep. So to me, this bowl has all the flavors that you want to have. Salty, there's a little bit of sweet from the red onion. Well, you don't have the sweet, but you have the honey. Salty, sweet, savory. I mean, you have, all right, you're gonna do it. Nice. You have everything that you're looking for in this bowl, and it is very, very good. It is viral for a reason. Highly suggest trying it. This is our second time this week eating this bowl.
Yeah, and this dish you could actually make for a week.
Yes, I was just about to say
for your
that.
lunches, because it would store well. All of these elements would store well.
Yep. So, I mean, we don't have that many leftover sweet potatoes, but we've got leftover beef, so I can easily make more sweet potatoes. Everything else, a lid just pops on those containers, it goes in the fridge, and then when you're ready to eat lunch tomorrow, you pull out all the elements and heat and reheat it.
Yep.
Super simple, but very good. Y'all need to try this one. Our verse today comes from Matthew 25:35-36. For I was hungry and you gave me food. I was thirsty and you gave me a drink. I was a stranger and you welcomed me. I was naked and you clothed me. I was sick and you visited me. I was in prison and you came to me. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you want to see more content like this, or if you need more inspiration in the kitchen, check out the video that I have listed above. Also, don't forget that I posted that members only video this week. And if you have any questions on accessing that, you want to be a part of the second level of being a member on my channel, and you will be able to see members only videos. I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you're having a great week.